So just like our little saying this morning that I sent out with the class announcement, the mat, set yourself down, ground yourself to your mat and to the earth and to your practice, and just allow yourself to arrive here. There's nothing else to do. Arrive, settle, and breathe. So take whatever leg position. I am going to take the cobbler pose, an opening through the hips, the inner thighs, a softening through the pelvic bowl. Again, support underneath those thighs if you're choosing this option. You feel a little bit tighter in the hips this morning, take your feet wide on the mat and just drop the knees in together. So just let the hips relax a little bit, open up the low back, let it just spread. So take whatever opening you can settle into. A hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. And just a moment here of gratitude to appreciate the breath as it comes in the nose and fills the lungs, fills the ribs, fills the belly. And then as you exhale, notice how that breath just seems to calm the body down. So on your own breath, in through the nose and out through the nose. Settle in here. And I read something yesterday that breath is everything. You come into this world, you take a breath. When you leave this world, you release a breath. But in between those two times, how many times do you notice the breath and what it can do to calm the body, the nervous system, and quiet the mind? So just enjoy 5 breaths here. And drawing in one more full inhale now, full, so that you can actually feel the ribs expand, the chest expand. Let that breath go. If the knees are wide, draw them together. If the feet are wide, heel toe them together to the center of the mat. Just roll off to the side and remove whatever the prop is that you're using underneath you. Take a long stretch, fingers away from toes. So as you take your long stretch, kind of take a little wiggle through the side body, allowing the shoulders maybe to kind of float right and left and feel into the back of the shoulder blades. As you point the toes, feel the top of the feet, the top of the ankles, and just notice how you're arriving this morning. And however it is that you're arriving, honor that. You made it to your mat. One more full stretch here. And then draw the right knee into the chest, give it a squeeze. Plant that left heel and send it away. So you've got a really active left leg, but squeeze the right knee in and just take a little rock. An inch one way, an inch another, just moving that femur bone right in the hip socket and just notice how that feels. Notice here, maybe you squeeze those shoulder blades underneath you, you lift the head and tuck that chin into the throat. Upper body is just relaxed, no energy there, just breath. Interlace behind the right hamstring, flex that right foot. Slowly lift the toes, the heel towards the ceiling. The knee can be bent. Just come into with those hands interlaced around the back of the hamstring. Feel those muscles, and there's 3 hamstring muscles actually. Just feel them engage, and you don't have to do anything else. Just re-soften the upper body. and just pause. And maybe with the hip right in line with the hip bone, just take a couple circles through the ankle, a point and a flex through the foot, a flare of the toes, a pinching in of the toes, and just any of those 3 or 4 movements. Just see what feels good to bring some blood flow and some movement into the joints of the toes, the ankle, opening up the front and of the shins and the back of the calf. And then just simply pause here. You don't have to flex, you don't have to point. Just pause, let the hips settle. From hip point to hip point, feel that the pelvis is nice and level. The belly is nice and relaxed, as is the breath. Deep breath in and a slow breath out. And then take that flex into the right foot now, a really mindful flex. So the toes flare down towards your face. The heel presses up towards the ceiling. Notice again now the difference in the back of the hamstring muscles. Take a full breath, and maybe here as you exhale the air, pull the belly in and draw the thigh closer to the body. So it's a gentle movement. It's not a tug. It's not a pull. It's gentle. And once it comes to where it wants to come, and you'll know that edge, just pause. Notice where you've just clenched. Notice the shoulders, the face, release the jaw. And just let the body open as the body wants to open. One more full inhale here. And on the exhale, see if you can squeeze it in, that thigh, a little bit closer into the belly. And know as you're doing this, you're compressing all those digestive organs. They're giving them a nice little massage. So pull it in, keep the breath flowing. And then maybe here, walk the hands up to the calf. Just a gentle walk. And as you walk the hands up towards that ankle, maybe you notice the back of the shoulder tips, a little bit of an opening in the shoulders, the length through the arms, maybe a stretch through the wrists. So it's a total body, even though we're concentrating or focusing on the hip. Notice how the rest of the body supports that movement. Take one more breath. Exhale, draw that knee down beside the body, half happy baby. Take it any way, either hand around that knee crease, hand holding the blade edge, peace fingers on the big toe. Just draw that knee down beside the body. Open up the back of the glute. Take that breath, and on the exhale, soften every place you can soften. There's no wasted energy here. Just breathe. One more inhale. On the exhale, begin to bend into that left knee and slide that left foot up by the left sit bone. Draw the right ankle across the body. Find that figure 4 as that ankle rests on the left thigh. Flex the right foot, fingertips lightly inside the right thigh, just to encourage that opening around the entire hip joint. Gently press the knee away from the body. Again, that body scan. Where did you bring in any clenching? Relax the body here. Just breathe. One more deep breath, maybe a gentle nudge again to send that knee away from the body. And just pause and feel what you feel is happening on the right hip joint. And then we're just going to release it. Just take a counter for a second. Let that right knee fall into the chest over towards that left shoulder. Maybe hug it the outside of that right leg in so that you can hug it closer to the chest. Again, beginning to stretch through that piriformis muscle that runs from the low back across that sciatic nerve into the jointer of the hamstring, and just relax it there. One more breath. And then gently release. Maybe you don't need the finger pads this time to send that knee away. But without the use of your hands, using your core and using the power of your hips, pick up this figure 4 shape with your legs, draw both shins up, draw the right shin in closer to the chest, flex through both feet. Take a breath. You want to take it deeper, interlace around the left hamstring, use the right elbow to help prop the right knee away, draw everything in, relax the shoulders, relax the face. 3 full breaths here. Both feet are flexed. Breath in the nose, slow breath out. And just take your focus to the right hip, and almost like you could will it to soften. Use your breath. Release the body. On your next inhale, release the clasp, send the left foot down slowly to the mat, returning to that figure 4 shape. Take a breath, send your arms out to a T or a cactus just to bring space into the upper body. Gaze is straight at the ceiling. Taking the breath, draw in the belly, slight tuck of the pelvis. Send the whole leg structure over to the right. So the right ankle is riding outside of the left thigh. You can slide that left foot down towards the end of your mat just to bring that left knee down. See if you can relax both shoulders on the mat. Begin to feel that stretch from that left hip down that IT band, the outer thigh of the left leg to the knee. And again, no wasted energy here. The weight of that ankle is lengthening that left leg. Maybe you complement that stretch from the hip to the knee with taking that left arm overhead, reaching through the fingers, laying on the back of the hand. So again, here, 2 for 1, the stretch through the outer leg, but from the hip through the ribs, the side body, soft tissue under the arm, all the way to the fingers. Take the breath in, fill the upper ribs, and then slowly release the breath, release the body, and relax into the pose. Two more breaths here, nice and full. If your arm is extended, bring it back to that T or that cactus, however you had it. Engage your core, engage your hip muscles, bring everything back up. Level out the hips, pause here. So feel the spine supported, feel the level pelvis. Take a full breath in, draw the belly in, and then drop everything to the left. So here, see if you can connect the sole of the right foot to something, either to that towel or your block or the floor. And maybe as you find whatever that connection is, you bring the left hand and wrap it around that right ankle. And the same thing, send the knee towards the bottom of your mat. Send it away from your upper body and feel that same stretch that we did as we were on our back. Take a full breath and just, again, let go of the effort here. The knee will fall where the knee will fall. The hip will open as the hip wants to open. We never force. One a little more, slide the right arm overhead, again, resting on the back of its hand. Breathe into the right side body. Exhale the breath. Let everything relax and release. 3 more breaths just right here. Bringing the right arm back to whatever position you were in. Release that right ankle. Send the left arm back to meet that upper body position. Use your core, use your power. Bring everything back up. Level out the hips. Pause here. Just feel the back body supported and the hips supported. Release the right ankle. Draw the right knee into the chest. And just again, a gentle rock one side to the other. That's deep work into the right hip. When we move over to the other side, remember each side is different. So don't expect to go to the depth, or maybe you'll be surprised at how much further you can go on the other side. Deep breath in. Good. We're going to switch it out now. So left knee comes into the chest. The right leg goes out long. Press into the right heel. Send it away from you as you draw the left knee into the chest. And again, that nice gentle rock. 1 inch, it's not big, just kind of lubricating the left hip joint, synovial fluid. I finally got to learn how to say it. Just bring some lotion into that joint. And keeping a nice active right leg here. We're going to begin to lift the left leg up to the ceiling. So nice and easy, flex through the left foot, slide the leg up towards the ceiling any amount. See if you can keep it right over its hip joint, and just pause when you get to that point of sensation. Maybe interlace around the thigh. Re-soften the upper body, so squeeze those shoulder blades underneath you. Notice how that drops the shoulder tips down. Tuck in the chin to the throat. Notice the length in the back of the neck. And then bring all your energy and focus to the left hip. And on your breath, maybe draw that thigh in a little bit closer to the belly. Just pause. Let the body feel into the movement. Take a walk with the hands up towards the calf. Pause there. And again, maybe holding on to the calf or the hamstring, wherever your hands land. Feel into the finger pads as you point and flex that left foot. As you circle through the ankle one way and the other. As you move through the toes and you squeeze them in. It's just not the foot and the ankle, but feel into the calf, the quad, and the hamstring that all join together to make that movement. And then just circle one more time each way. Bring it back now to a mindful point. So send that big toe up to the ceiling. Feel the spread in the top of the foot and the ankle. Switch it out. Let that heel go high. Get that Achilles stretch, the back of the ankle, the back of the calf. And then pause. Maybe the hands walk a little further. Maybe they don't. But wherever they are, if your arms are nice and straight, even though this is the hamstring, I want you just to notice the back of the shoulders, the opening through the back of the shoulder joint. As you hold on to the calf, maybe you notice the stretch in the wrists and the stretch in the fingers. So it's the whole body working together. Take a full deep breath in. And then find your half happy baby here. So we're just going to drop that left knee down towards the outer body. You can hold on to the ankle. You can wrap the forearm. You can Reach for the blade edge, or you can use those peace fingers around the big toe. You find yours. Draw that knee down. Soften and unclench where you can, and just begin to stretch through the glutes. 3 breaths here. And notice as we do this, because we're doing it on our backs, to, again, find less effort and more ease. So notice where you're putting effort here, and see if you can just release it so the body can relax into the stretch. There's nothing to prove here. Taking a nice full deep breath. And on the exhale, we're just going to slide the right foot, bend the right knee, bring the foot to the right sit bone. Taking in a breath, take that left ankle across the body to rest on the right thigh, flex through that left foot. Relevel your hips, maybe a slight tuck of the pelvis. Feel the whole spine supported. Again, drop the shoulders, release the jaw. Finger pads inside the left thigh to gently again send the left knee away from the body so that we can really feel in to the whole left hip. So this kind of circles around that left hip. Should never feel painful. Should never feel like you're really stretching it. It's just opening, just opening. 3 breaths. Relax where you can. Next breath, gently release the finger pads. We'll counter that stretch by just letting that left knee fall in, relaxing through the inner thigh, maybe hugging that left knee with the hands, bringing it over towards that right shoulder. Again, a nice stretch through that piriformis, through the hamstring to the low back, and just pause. And we'll release that to come back into our figure 4 shape. Maybe this time you don't use the finger pads. Maybe you just send the knee back with your brain and muscle memory here and just pause. And then without the use of the hands. So we're really going to hug in our core. We're going to use our hip muscles here to draw the whole figure 4 legs up into the air, bringing that left shin in closer to the chest. Flex through both feet. Re-soften the upper body. Take a deep breath. And if you want it deeper, interlace around the right hamstring, draw it in, use that left elbow to help prop the left inner thigh away from the body. Take a breath. So the deeper the breath, the longer the exhales. Sends that message to the body that you're safe, secure, that you can release yourself to the pose. Take 2 more full breaths. And then gently we'll release the clasp. Let the right foot come down onto the mat. Send the arms, if you were in a T position before, maybe send them overhead or to a cactus. Keeping your leg position as it is, we're going to just slide the knees over to the left. So the left ankle's right on top of the outer right thigh. You can slide that right foot down just to give yourself some more room to bring the right knee down. And again, we're not doing anything but just letting weight and gravity Bring some stretch from the outer right hip down that IT band to the knee. Soften the body, soften the breath. And then maybe if you want that little 2-for-1 this morning, you extend the right arm overhead, resting on the back of the hand. So again, the weight of that ankle deepens the stretch from the hip to the knee. The arm reaching away from the body deepens the stretch from the hip through the ribs, and the soft tissue under the arms, all the way through to the fingers. Take a deep breath in. Let everything go and relax. 2 full breaths. Slide that right arm back into whatever position you're using for your upper body. Draw in your core, draw in your breath. Big inhale, knees come back up to center. Pause at center. Re-establish the pelvic levelness here. Feel the spine. Big inhale, draw the belly in, and on the exhale, take it to the other side. And again, this is where you might want your block or your towel, something to secure the foot. The sole of the left foot lands on something so that maybe the right hand can just wrap around the ankle or reach for the pant leg, something just to secure it so that at the same time, just like we did earlier, you send the knee away without the use of the hands. See if you can point the knee towards the ceiling and notice what you notice. If that's too intense, bring it in. If you're not feeling anything now because you're a little bit more open in that hip, see if you can send the knee maybe an inch away and notice. And then 3 breaths here. Use the exhales to soften anywhere that you want to soften. Maybe the left arm extends overhead. Get that stretch through the whole left side body. Use the exhales, 3 of them here now, big breaths. Release the entire body to the mat and just open up through the left hip joint. Use your breath. Releasing the left arm back down, releasing the left ankle. If you're holding it, bring the arms to a different arm position. So if they were in a T, bring them to a cactus. Maybe you bring them overhead just to hold on to the wrists. Use your core, draw the legs back up to center and just pause. Level everything out. And then draw that left knee into the chest. Give it a squeeze. Maybe a little rock just to rinse it out here, right and left. And then the right knee will join into the chest. So this is like your child's pose on your back. So if at any time all the pressure of the body in a child's pose resting on your knees is an issue, flip over onto your back and just hug your knees in. It's the same pose without the body weight. So take a deep breath. Let the hands rest lightly on top of the knees. We're going to work internal and external rotation through the hips, but at the same time, we're going to offer ourselves a beautiful little back massage. So put the hands on top lightly of the knees. Separate the knees right and left. Big wide V, open up through those inner thighs. Just pause there. And let the weight of the hands just kind of deepen the stretch. The big toes are kind of together, so it could be kind of like a floating cobra pose. Just pause here for the breath. And then we're going to take those hands on the knees and we're going to press the knees out and down towards the bottom of your mat as you kind of roll onto that tailbone, that low sacrum. Pause there. Take a deep breath in, and then on the exhale, draw the knees into the chest. Exhale all the air as you curl in. And then send the knees wide again, down towards the bottom of the mat, and then back in. So as fast or as slow as you want to go. Again, focus is on the hips, but enjoy the nice massage from the tailbone, rolling all the way up the spinal column. And notice your shoulders and your face and your breath. Pull the knees into the chest as you come back and send it the other way. Knees go down towards the bottom of your mat as you roll onto the tailbone. Send them right and left, big, wide V, and then circle them into the chest. So again, we're just not making movement. We're feeling all the parts of the body that do the movement. One more full rotation. And we'll all meet with the knees back into the chest. Give it a nice big squeeze. Maybe as you squeeze here, just pick up the shoulders and the head and tuck everything into a nice ball, just to kind of get a nice stretch through the spinal column, and also just activating through the core. And then release the shoulders and the head back to the mat. Take both legs up towards the ceiling. Flex through both feet. So this is like your forward fold, except you're doing it on your back. So here, bring your hands to the hamstrings or to the calves, and gently, two legs become one. Just kind of draw the thighs in close. See if you can keep the feet flexed, the heels up, the toes flared, everything working here. We soften those shoulders, release the face and jaw. Forward fold. Again, compressing all the digestive organs here. Nice little belly massage internally. One more breath. And then release those legs so they're coming right like over their hip points. We're going to begin to bring the big toe mounds and the balls of the feet together overhead, right over your head, as the knees go wide. Maybe you hold on to the shin or the ankles, draw the knees wide, pause in this like floating cobbler. Use your elbows to press the inner knee away. Just pause here. One more full breath. And then we're going to release the feet to the mat on their blade edge. So coming again into this cobbler pose. Barb offered us a beautiful modification of this by using your block and setting your feet up. I don't have my block here, onto the block so that the knees have a little bit further to fall. So take whatever opening with ease. So you're not holding anything up here. Just let the legs fall, support where you need to support. A hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. Squeeze the shoulder blades underneath you as you lift the chest just a bit. Again, reestablish the chin into the throat so the neck is nice and long. Close down the eyes. And join me in that rhythmic breath, the breath we know we use in deep sleep and meditation, where the exhales are twice as long as the inhales. So I'm going to lead inhaling with 3 and exhaling with 6. You've done this with me before, so you do you. Close the eyes, unclench, let the body settle here, and take your breath in. I'm going to count of 3. Pause at the top, and release slowly, whatever count, double it. I'm going to count of 6. Inhale, maybe to the count of 3. Let it go slow to the count of 6. And on your own, continue with this breath. And notice how every exhale brings you a little deeper to your mat, a little deeper to your practice, a little deeper as you go inward. And this is where I'm going to leave you this morning. So we're going to turn off our device, stay with this rhythmic breath as long as you can, and then let it go. And then find any stillness, any Shavasana pose that you can stay in for the next 3 or 4 minutes. And just breathe. Namaste, my friends.